The following is a described video. If you would like to watch the video without audio description, please follow the link in the description. Fade from black to a shot of 3 Logitech mice at various stages of wear and tear. I think Logitech is one of the most underrated brands out there. Me and my family have been using their mice for nearly 15 years. Not a single one has yet died on us. However, the main reason why we keep replacing them is because we keep on losing the wireless USB plug. A gloved hand from off-screen throws a small USB plug onto a white table. Needless to say, you've probably already heard of them. A hand brings a keyboard, a pair of earphones, and a mouse from off-screen and places it on the blank white table. Perhaps you have used their keyboards before, maybe listened on their headsets, watched movies using their remotes, or used their mice. This is a brand we use every day, but we never talk about it. And I think their personality as a company really reflects in their products. The mobile museum intro takes over the screen and then transitions to an average-looking gray mouse beside a mobile museum label. You probably don't know very much about Logitech, just as I did before I started writing the script. So let me talk a bit about them from what I gathered on their Wikipedia page. The francophone among you may have already guessed, but the brand is actually founded and headquartered in the Swiss Confederation, but it has offices all over the world. It has been around since 1981. Most interestingly, it has quite a portfolio of acquisitions that I did not expect. The screen is now filled with various colorful web pages. First of Blue, which features images of recording studios. Then Jaybird, which has images of the outdoors. Then Streamlabs, which has images of popular streamers and personalities. Finally, Ultimate Ears, which has a playful bright pink background with an image of a unicorn water float. Companies such as Blue Microphones, makers of the Blue Yeti and Blue Snowball. Jaybird, a premium wireless audio brand. Streamlabs, a software company that makes tools for streamers, and Ultimate Ears, a custom IEM brand as well as a maker of popular Bluetooth speakers. They are clearly very experienced in building products for just about every person. So how does its traits make itself apparent in this mouse design in particular? Now this mouse is pretty old when it comes to tech products, but there are mice just like it that are still being sold today. This mouse is the Logitech V220, made with a solid gray plastic for the battery cover and the left and right mouse buttons, with a black frame around it. It has a gray scroll wheel in the middle, as well as gray rubber grips on either side. I have seen models with gray buttons and battery covers replaced with colorful patterns instead of the gray. The whole mouse has a wedge-shaped profile that is ambidextrous, which is an important feature that is often overlooked. The mouse is symmetrical and very unoffensive. It has almost no hard edges, with most of them curved off. It resembles somewhat of a raindrop that is sideways. If you want your product to be for everyone, that is an important feature. The mouse also provides very good tactile feedback with a notched scroll wheel and clicky buttons. This particular model has what Logitech calls an invisible optic, and from what I understand, it uses infrared light to track. A close-up shot of the laser at the bottom of the mouse, which has the text invisible optic around it. It doesn't feel any different, but it is less obstructive when working in the dark, especially when I lift the mouse to move it. This mouse is wireless. The large USB stick that is the receiver conveniently stores into the bottom of the mouse so it's more difficult to lose and doesn't clutter the workspace. The gloved hand slides the USB receiver, which looks like a normal USB flash drive, into the slot at the bottom of the mouse. Inside that slot is a small switch to turn the mouse on and off. There is also a reset button, as well as a graphic showing that the USB receiver can slide into the bottom of the mouse. The USB receiver also protrudes a bit from the bottom of the mouse as well. Newer models of these mice often have smaller receivers, but I think that this receiver is really interesting because it uses the sliding motion to automatically turn off the mouse. When you slide it out, it also pushes the on switch for you. The bottom of the USB receiver has a gated path which directs the power switch on and off depending on the sliding motion when replacing and removing the receiver. Everything about this mouse communicates that it wants to be as unintrusive as possible. I think this marvel of design is what designers mean when they say good design is invisible. It blends right in when it works, and only when problematic mice are encountered, you understand the genius that is these normal mice. It is able to fit in anywhere with its great design, and despite its one-size-fits-all shape, it really is comfortable to use. The mouse is shown with its rear cover removed with the push of a button at the bottom of the mouse. Then, a AA battery is placed in it. Then switches to a shot of the bottom of the mouse and the illustration of the receiver sliding into the mouse. It also uses a single AA battery really well, as it conveniently gives a comfortable weight to the mouse without making it over-encumbering. It even uses small drawings and illustrations on the mouse to communicate the instructions for usage across language barriers. By allowing the features of the mouse to take a backseat, Logitech is able to help users think less about the tool and focus on getting work done. A transition plays and introduces the next scene of the same gray mouse on the table beside the Mobile Museum label. After taking a look at this ordinary mouse, we see that this mouse really is a reflection of Logitech as a brand. The Mobile Museum text on the Mobile Museum label that is on the table is reflective, and as the camera moves by, light sweeps by it. The company is unassuming though universally recognized. We know them well for making solid products, but most do not know all the companies they have acquired. In the same way, the Logitech V220 mouse has a boring design that blends right in, but is recognizable as a trusted tool. The blue gloved hand places their right hand on the mouse, and then tries it again with the left. The mouse is centered in the middle. After our investigation, we understand that it uses subtle design strategies like its simple ambidextrous design, which allows it to camouflage itself so it can be used by anyone. By looking closely at objects like this that are easily forgettable, we are able to start to comprehend the genius in how products like these are able to be at home in just about any home. Fade to black. A transition plays which leads to the end screen. The end screen features text that leads the viewer to the description for links to the Instagram page, website, and channel of Mobile Museum. 2 videos also appear in the middle of the screen which can be selected. Honestly, I use this mouse just about every day. I love how the wedge shape is so simple but comfortable, even when I use it all the time for gaming. Well, you've reached the end of this video now. I hope you enjoyed it. Come back next week for another episode and subscribe to be notified about it. I hope to see you soon. Fade to black.